Well, now we are recording, though.
Right, can I tell you a joke that I
Tell. You're already laughing.
Can I tell you a joke that I just thought of? Inspired by
Brandon Sanderson.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a you joke. That's why I wanted to have this on record. Okay.
I have the word of Brandon Coppermind open because I'm a virgin is what you called me.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not really a joke. It's more of just a funny thought, shall we say?
All right. Hit me with it.
But what would you say?
Yeah.
If you were serving this man a drink on a beach and you made a mess.
Are you going to make a sand joke?
I'd go, hey, Brandy Sandy. Here's a Sandy Brandy. Isn't that funny?
I feel like my reaction of is like all I can give you. Anyways, welcome to Doctor Who Rewind, an unofficial and unprofessional
You can tell me
rewatch
the sunny
podcast.
title then.
Oh, do you want? Oh, okay,
Kinda,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, well, I'll do that first.
I didn't think we talked so much about my shit joke.
So the It's Always Sunny season 16 is airing. I was going to say May. No, it's not. It's June 7th. I'm very excited. They're not sponsoring us. I wish they were. Is that because you're eating? You've pushed the mic all the way away. Spoilers, I guess, if you don't want these 6 episodes title spoiling for you. Episode 1 is called The Gang Inflates.
Mint.
I don't know what it means, but I'm excited. The second one is this is the one that I am most excited for.
Right.
Frank shoots every member of the gang. Which is like, the gang set Sweet D on fire.
Mm.
That's the vibe that I'm like, oh god. Episode 3 is The Gang Gets Cursed.
Mint.
Episode 4 is called Frank versus Russia. Episode 5 is called Celebrity Booze, the Ultimate Cash Grab. Which I'm guessing is the one with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul,
surely.
right? And then episode 6 is called Risk E-Rats Pizza and Amusement Centre, which is the one I assume where they're bowling with the with Gail the Snail and Artemis and stuff. In one of the trailers.
God, I love Artemis.
Yeah, in one of the trailers, the McPoyles are back. Everyone's come back this season. I'm so happy. I know cricket's coming back, so I'm gearing up, mate. This is gonna be it's gonna be a good June. Welcome to Doctor Who Rewind, an unofficial and unprofessional rewatch podcast where I, Tyrese, and my friend Katie say hello, Katie.
Hello, Katie.
You got a mouthful.
No hula hoops.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say once we complete that, great. So me and Katie watch and discuss episodes of Doctor Who, starting with the revival in 2005. I'm talking! Once we complete that, we'll backtrack to the 60s in real life.
Time travel.
Ooh! I don't know what we're doing. And talk about classic Who. In between seasons, we'll discuss extended media, things like books, games, and
Big Finish Audio Adventures!
Maybe we should go on walks to places before episodes and between them. This is good energy.
Yeah, fresh air. Does wonders.
Does it?
For the heart and mind.
Awesome. Previously on Sucks. Previously on Doctor Who. I said it last week.
Previously on Aug.
What?
Amiv Gos.
Oh.
Amiv Jos.
Aug. Aog. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the previously this time, it sucks.
Yeah, it's so good.
We get some original Dalek sound effects from season 1. Did you pick up on that? I was like, ooh. From the episode Dalek, not sound effects off Daleks. What do you think of the Genesis arc? We were just going to get straight into it, I guess, because this is how the episode opens.
It's cool.
But?
No, the thing is, I don't have very many thoughts about it because I'm realistically.
It makes sense and it's kind of sick.
Yeah, it's the thing that I'm okay, it's cool. It does the whole, here is just a way to get Daleks out and about. My only thing about it that I'm is that it's a bit too parting of the ways, when the Dalek Emperor's this is not of Dalek design or whatever.
Yeah. My only issue with the arc, and it's not even an issue, it's a cleary-uppy thing, where one line of dialogue from anyone would fix it. They say it's Time Lord material, or Time Lord technology that was made by Time Lords.
Yeah.
If it's made by Time Lords, I want it to look less Dalek-y.
That's true. It does look incredibly Dalek.
That's my only thing is I know that Gallifrey has this...
Whacker symbol on there.
Yeah, did Gallifrey have that old star back in the classic Who? The big collars and all the symbols and stuff. Okay, then you know the aesthetic. You can make things a bit
put the seal
more
of Rassilon
Gallifrey.
on it and I'm fine with it.
Is that the weird thing?
You know, yeah, it kind of looks like a.
It's almost like an hourglass.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. One of those on it. I couldn't
Pop,
get the
pop.
pop, pop. Couldn't get the words out. Yeah. Pop a little seal on that. Brand that bitch. Yeah. I do love it overall. I'm like prison ship.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Prison ship the size of an Easter egg. Pop it.
Yeah,
Pop it open.
that's Kinder
Let
Egg.
me look inside. Oh yeah, you
Big
can't.
Kinder Egg.
You can't have those in the US. Don't let the Genesis Arc in the US. Are they still banned over there?
I believe so. Actually, the one thing about the Genesis Arc that makes me go, is when first of all, if it's a prison ship, why is it called the Genesis Arc? Unless that's the name the Daleks have given it.
I assume
which is
that's
fine.
the name the Daleks have given it.
Second of all, when everyone's like, "Oh God, what does it do?" It's called the Genesis Arc. Take a guess.
How do you feel about the activation system of it if it has to be touched by a person?
I'm fine with it in terms of this is a pre-established thing.
I kind of am. The only part of it that makes me not super cool with it is I'm like, no, I think it's cool if it was built that way by Time Lords to be like Daleks.
Yeah,
should
Daleks
not
don't have hands.
Yeah, but then that then puts a roadblock in the other Dalek thing where it needed the DNA imprint to like heal itself. Basically, this doesn't really.
But it's the whole
Need that, right?
like the background radiation is a power source thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, which is like that's a shoehorned law thing into this episode, right?
Yeah, which is like I say,
I don't mind it.
fine.
Does
It's so
background
fine.
radiation come back? 'Cause I feel like it does, but I don't know when. If it does,
I don't know. Maybe like in mentions and stuff, but I don't think it's ever as important as it
Yeah.
is like here. Tell you what though, you get the absolute like bad bitch moment from Rose that just starts this whole episode.
Daleks!
Daleks! Yeah.
you're called the Daleks. And then I love that Mickey and Rajesh just like piggyback that. They're like, me too.
Yeah, Time War, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, and I was there.
Yeah.
My dad works at Nintendo. That's the second Nintendo I mention.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks. I say 2 weeks, like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because
It's
we're
fine.
both stupid bitches for Nintendo.
R.I.P.
Yeah, Rajesh doesn't live. Who is the least important?
Designate the least important.
You know what? Let's talk. Do you want to talk the Cult of Skaro now or later?
We can do it later.
When the Doctor comes into the room.
Because
Yeah,
I
let's do it
don't
then.
have the note about it till later. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking the exact same thing when I was watching it.
But I'm like just in one word. Cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm like this
In
is kind
2
of sick.
words.
Oh no! You exceeded the word count. You are capped at your mark for this dissertation. We have a dissertation level thing
I
to
don't
do
wanna talk about
soon. Oh, I just want to eat my hula hoops.
I don't want to talk about it.
Just want to eat big hoop.
You can hear me chewing my big hoops.
That makes people so uncomfortable. I don't know what it's called, but that you just did an enemy of the internet thing.
What?
Kate, I was
Chew.
almost surnamed you. I don't know if we've surnamed you on the podcast yet. I feel like we have, but either way, I'm not going to do it now.
Yeah. I'm fine with not being surnamed.
Yeah, I don't care. Did I told you
Just
might
lady named.
take a lap.
That's the opposite of a sir, though, isn't it? Like a lady.
A mom. Sir and mom.
I'm fine being mom named.
So this is because we do cut to Jackie at one point, and because I had this thought, I felt like I'd missed something, and I was like, the Doctor's not too worried. Does he know that there's Daleks down there yet? No, he doesn't.
No,
I didn't realise
this-
that because the first time he sees it is through the Cyberman's eyes, right?
Well, they open up the communications link when they're beefing in the corridor.
Yes.
But then Rose also has a so it's like 2 separate like lines of transmission.
Uh-huh.
Because he's also getting the audio from the room, like the sphere chamber or whatever.
Yeah. But so we cut to Jackie, and the Doctor has no idea that there's... I know, do you know exactly what he said there? Did you see him?
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, it was when he's leaning up against the wall, and Jackie's asking him a million questions, and he's just like, I don't know. She's like, Rose is down there. Is she alive? What's happening? And he's like, Jackie, I was stood here. You were there
yeah,
with
right.
me.
You know as much as I do.
Yeah. Which is not true, ever. But, oh yeah, so, because the one thing I have, cause this is before Rajesh dies, is I'll see if I can find it in the episode. Just the fighting starts, like, super quick. And I don't mean,
I was
like...
wrong about that fight being in the last episode.
Yeah, I know, I was aware.
And you didn't say anything. I felt like a fool.
No, because we see them break into the houses and stuff in the last episode. We just don't see the
There we
shooting.
go then.
But, like, look at all these buildings on fire. It's been 5 minutes, if not less than, since the last episode. We've got a cyber leader.
5 million Cybermen.
Is that your trivia drop there?
I mean, they say it in the episode, I'm pretty sure.
Do they?
Mm.
That's cool.
When they're fighting, it's like, we are 5 million Cybermen. How many Daleks do you have? And they're like 4.
That's my. It's like half Toad, half Dalek. I can't do it. Sometimes I get a little thing stuck in my throat and it sounds alright, like Dalek, but I'm like, I can't do it on command.
No.
It's a thing. It's stuck in the throat. Yeah, this explosions and stuff. Like, people are dying very, very quickly, and that's just the Daleks aren't even out yet. Like, the casualties in this must be like insane, right? I have a thing. I don't know if it's new. Right before Rajesh dies, the Daleks wiggling whenever they speak. Is that new? Did you notice this?
I mean,
because I'm like, wait, we'll just have a look at Dalek sec in a moment. He's just gonna talk, and like there's just like a little jitter going. You see his little blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
I like it.
I can ignore it on account of the fact that, like, you know, it's probably not supposed to happen.
No, it happens every time they speak only.
Oh.
Which is why I'm like, I think it's intentional to give them, because I don't think it's very. You don't get the sense of like there isn't a live thing in there, but with that shake,
you do.
Like you know, you're like, oh, these things are full of hatred. Like they are rattling with like just this anger. I'm like, that's cool. Actually, I love it. Metal as hell. Dalekanium. They're not made of Dalekanium.
Polycarbide.
Yeah, that's not Dalekanium, mate.
No.
Hun, get the periodic table out. We're checking.
Yeah. So anyway.
Then Rajesh gets on his knees.
Then he does the die.
Yep. This is what we call in the business a scar or suck job, where they take all of your thoughts just out of your brain.
They can have them. I don't want them anymore.
And then you don't want your own thoughts.
No, they can take them. I don't want them anymore.
Okay, that's a positive thing.
This is pretty much the part anyway, isn't it? The part that I have seen on the internet so many times recently. The Dalek Cybermen face off.
The sass off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very because you know the Cybermen immediately go down to look for them, and this right. I think that the Doctor's face and silence here, whilst is subtle, like there's no words.
Yeah, it's very effective.
You know, in is it the Krillitane where he's like take bad and put another suitcase of bad on top? That's this.
Yeah, that's
not
what
the
this
Krillitane.
is.
That's this.
The big bat people.
This is so bad that you couldn't even say a suitcase sentence. You were just like, I cannot say anything. Look at the David Tennant brings it in this episode. I mean, everyone does as normal, but like Tennant and Billy Piper knowing that it's because this wasn't the last thing they filmed. This was like in the middle. Right?
Yeah, but you know.
But they brought they knew they know because they've been handed the scripts, but like they brought it. Imagine bringing like a performance this good mid-season, then being like, and back to square.
Yeah, right. Let's get back in. Let's get back in like buddy comedy mode.
Yeah. I thank you, and then they just start going back about it. Just his thing of like seeing a Dalek, knowing that Rose is with the Daleks, and just being like, if I mention this to Jackie, she will melt down immediately.
There's
Look at the eyebrows on Rose.
There's a little line in their little thing that I only picked up on it because again, BBC iPlayer subtitles.
In the Dalek Cybermen thing.
Yeah, where Cybermen say aggression is wasteful and illogical. You will modify.
You will change your tone.
It just says you will modify because that's when it's like Daleks do not take orders.
Yeah.
I think, and then it's like, oh, you've identified as Daleks.
Oh, yeah. State your identity. You identify first. It says the answer is, and then there's 2 question marks in the Chakotay script. The answer is blank and illogical. You will modify. That's what I have here.
Aggression is wasteful and illogical. You will modify is what the line is.
Oh, well. These scripts are not accurate.
Because I will take what BBC iPlayer says.
Yeah, right? Because surely they have the information. Mickey says a not good thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of that line.
No.
That joke. I don't know if I want to repeat it, but he makes a joke about Stephen Hawkins and the speaking clock, and it's not cool, dude.
No.
Bro, stop it. That's not fun. He's a good scientist, man. Don't be that guy.
Was a good scientist, man.
Oh, but when I bring up Tupac.
R.I.P. Stephen Hawking.
But Tupac's still alive.
Obviously not.
That's not what you said earlier.
Oh my god. I like that. You will just skip the part where I was like, I don't actually believe that, though.
Well, I'm going to skip that. What?
You skipped it right now. I just said. I was like, I don't think it's true. I think it's
no,
funny.
No, but when we were in the shop, you said that you were like, he's still alive.
No, I said, I don't think it's true, but I think it's funny.
So, here's the thing. Because, right, look, sugar. We don't know what he's doing with the 3D glasses for these 2 episodes, right?
No, it's just kind of a,
but can he see it through the screen?
That's the implication, surely. But I don't think that is how it would work.
Look at this fool watching Shrek 4D. Like, because I was watching it and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know in hindsight now what these glasses are for, why he keeps wearing them, and he's looking for this thing. But through a monitor, he's like, oh, have they been through the void?
Yeah, absolutely would not work through a monitor, right?
No. That would mean the no.
Just flat no.
I don't know why I'm trying to, like, science it. No. 1, not real. 2, also not real. And it wouldn't work. That's like me seeing your heat signature through a monitor.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work because you're cold as ice. Yeah, then this is the sass off the you are better at dying. And to be fair, considering I never, like, I don't consider... I know Doctor Who is, like, huge. But I don't consider it huge because I've just, people have always been like, fucking virgin. Whenever I've talked about it, like, I've had a few, like a handful of friends that have enjoyed it. And so I don't consider it big. So when I see clips like that going, like, viral as hell, I'm like,
okay.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed like a large uptick, algorithm style, obviously, of, like, Doctor Who content on my TikTok. And every single time I, like, scroll in at one, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. There is another thing here that I just think is insane and weird. And I'm just going to read this out. It's a Dalek line. Yeah. Dalek 3, which means I don't know which fucking one it was. Rewind image by 9 rels. Identify grid 7 gamma frame. This male registers as enemy. Dude, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like,
those are just words.
I'm like, you could use real coordinates and we wouldn't care. But I guess alien, you have to be alien about it, right? That's the whole point. Grid 7 gamma frame. Awesome. Who is that man? He identifies as enemy. No, that this male registers as enemy. So I don't know what they've seen.
Well, they can register him as an enemy through a screen as well, apparently.
Yeah, I'm like, you've never seen his face like this before.
Yeah.
But the Rose grasses him up and doxes him.
Straight
is it just
out.
like, that's the Doctor, by the way? And I think it's really funny seeing a Dalek flinch,
Is this to the thing?
To the
thing.
The Doctor.
Because,
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I was going to say, because then you get the parallel world gang.
Oh, is this where Team Pete show up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got that wrong. I was like, oh, it's the end of last episode thing. No, it's
very
this one.
used to the MCU at this point. And in my brain, when it didn't play the Avengers leitmotif, I was very confused. Like, how else will I know this is a returning character?
There hasn't been an Avengers movie in like 4 years.
Ooh, no, there hasn't, has there?
Don't wave your hoopy fingers at me.
Ooh. No, there hasn't.
And you know what? The world is better off for it at the minute, I think. Until Marvel gets its shit together, I don't want to see an ensemble film, actually.
I mean, I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, Marvel, just don't touch the X-Men.
Bring it to a close. Just, like, honest to God, like, just bring the MCU to a close.
I don't want X-Men in the MCU. I don't really want X-Men at all at this point, to be honest. But
Other than the animated.
Yeah. But my whole thing is, like, just give them their own universe,
Like they did have before, but it was bad. Would you still want that run by Marvel Studios? Because they do things accurately.
Like, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, but, like,
Oh, well.
But yeah, also, okay, here's the thing. So they say there's a parallel world version of Torchwood.
Yeah.
How? Like, what was the event that caused the parallel world version of Torchwood to come into existence?
Wait there, I just want to find a quick quote. Tell me. So, the only... I obviously, I can't think of, like, a thing that would cause a Torchwood on a Pete's world. What's so funny?
Can't think. That sounded like the Hannah Montana laugh. I don't know. What thing that caused a Torchwood?
Yeah, no, I'm. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, so, like, because the thing that was going to connect Pete's world was going to be the werewolf thing, right? That would have caused a Torchwood, but they didn't use it to. They didn't use that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cause a Torchwood. The only thing I can think is being like some dude who was actually part of Torchwood did a dimension jump to start a Torchwood.
Yeah, fine.
I wonder if the Big Finish. This is so like not even relevant, but I wonder if the Big Finish Rose Tyler dimension canon stuff touches on the other baby.
You know what? I had the same thought.
I was like, do we ever hear about this child again?
I had the same
Did you?
thought. Yeah.
Sometimes it's horrible being the same person, isn't it? The same mind.
Talk about something while I look something up.
Are you gonna look this up to see whether it actually is talked about? I like so when they do rewind the image by 9 rels to identify grid 7 gamma frame, the Black Dalek, who is Dalek Sec,
Sec.
but it just says Black Dalek in this, says the female's heartbeat has increased because obviously Rose has seen the doctor.
I have that
and Mickey's,
written down.
yeah, tell me about it. I'm like, okay, a bit salty, are we? But Mickey has also, Mickey has also admitted to being an idiot. You know, just for coming back all the time.
There's no mention of the baby in the summaries, but this is just the summaries.
Okay.
Because I don't own this box set. But Clive, however.
Yeah, Clive's in them. That's class. That, you know, I love that for him.
I can imagine that they do a mention.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it'll be like, oh, someone do something with the baby. Take the baby somewhere. You know, I can imagine it comes up. Yep. The female's heartbeat has increased.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So, here's the thing.
Okay.
Is this the scene, right? Yeah, is this the scene where Rose is like, "Oh, you want to know what happened to the Emperor?"
Not quite.
Or
So
okay,
it's very close because after this we cut back upstairs. We're just like an upstairs downstairs back and forth. Which
also shout out Barriott, by the way.
Barriott Jones.
Barriott
later
Jones!
in this episode, she does get a shout out.
Current Prime Minister.
Keep your eye on her.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah. So we're back and forth. You know, from Yvonne's office to the Sphere Lab, just over and over and over. So it's easy to like sort of mash it all together. We cut to upstairs, and that's when Yvonne and Jackie get kidnapped by the Cyberman.
Yeah, to be converted.
To be converted, yeah. And you know, by Yvonne, I'm pretty sure this is the last time we see. Oh no, we see her later on.
Yeah,
in the
it's the last time
conversion
we see
chamber.
Yvonne Hartman, though, right?
No, we see her later on in the
yeah.
conversion, like
Okay,
in the plasticky
cool.
room.
Sorry, the timeline in my brain is fucked.
The back room's looking sort of thing. And then we get the Emperor killed him.
Yeah, by the way, like that's the thing. Did Rose ever tell anyone about that? Do you think?
I don't think she's been like bragging about it.
Because like Mickey is stood right next to her and she's like, I poured the time vortex into his head and did all this stuff. And Mickey's just stood there and I'm like, I know you can't see his face, but I'm like, does he know about this? Because otherwise you would be like,
considering he helped pour the time vortex into her head with the van.
Yeah.
I'm like, I assume that he knows already. We also get a little bit of the explanation when Team Pete show up about, you know, the teleporties going back and forth between universe, and the Doctor is like, Jesus Christ. He's like, 5 million Cybermen, 4 Daleks, an entire void ship, and now you guys. You're just gonna crack open the world like an egg at this point. And I'm
Pete Tyler, I knew you when you were dead.
Yeah.
What he says.
Why does he say it with a smile too?
Yeah. But this is also the bit, right, when he's like, oh, you know, stop the Daleks, stop the Cybermen, close the void, do you think I can do it, or whatever? He's like, yeah, and he's like, right, maybe that's all I need then.
I like little moments like that.
Yeah, I do.
I'm like, oh, he just needs his little...
He needs a little bit of validation.
He just needs his fam. He just needs his fam. You know, you don't look very happy with me.
No.
Are you cross?
I'm not very happy when I think about the fam in general.
Unless you're reading Ace, in which point...
Listen.
We'll get... No, we've got things planned.
Yes, we do. I just want to say, now, Sophie Aldred, good work.
This is just for you.
Yeah, very good. Friend of the podcast, Sophie Aldred.
Well, really?
Well, she's not an enemy.
No, but
enemy of the podcast.
Invasion of the Bane. I don't know what you want.
Okay, sorry, continue. Drago's kicking and screaming back on track, mate.
Sophie, no!
It's me getting pulled up.
Yeah, God. Do you know, I was genuinely really worried that you were going to go out and buy that book just on your, because you kept being like, I really want this book, and it was taking so long to arrive.
I was going to.
And I was proper like, God, please don't. I mean, at that point, I would be like, give me your copy and you have this one, because it will mean more at the end of the day. But I was like, please don't do this thing. And then,
don't read the book.
You know, I'm pretty sure I ordered it like February 13th for your birthday in March.
Yeah.
And then it showed up. When did it show up? Like
months later.
April. It must have been in April. It took like a month or two. Which is fair. Busy woman, that Sophie Aldred. She's always at cons, to be fair. She's doing her bit for the Doctor Who community.
And we love her for it.
I mean, I don't. But not as like a personal thing. As like I've never really seen you in anything other than Power of the Doctor, and
oh my God,
we're not gonna get into
wait
it.
Till we get to Curse of Fenric, man.
You're not gonna. You're just gonna be insufferable, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be so unpleasant to be around when we get to that era.
Yeah.
In 29 years.
When Team Pete show up, just to get us back on track, and they explode the cyber leader, why was his head full of cum? Did you get that too?
Yeah, I did. And you know what my entire explanation for it is? Like, an actual explanation for it is that, you know, what I can't remember what they said in the other Cybermen episodes, but you know, the synthetic, like...
Oh, because they have like a synthetic nervous system,
Nervous system.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Oh, hello there. You're awake.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess it's that. Which, synthetic blood, maybe?
Maybe. I just want to... Is this frame by frame? I'm just going to frame by frame it until his head explodes.
It's, at the end of the day, like, Cybermen are, like, machiney robot things still, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you would need some sort of, like, lubrication inside the suit, surely, to, like, keep it.
No, I missed. Oh. Never mind. I don't want to even see it. I don't even need to see it. It's fine. Look at that.
Milky.
Oh, don't say that, though.
How do you feel? It's not the first time we've heard it, obviously, but you know, like the cyber scream that they do when they die.
And they put their hands to their head.
I don't like it. I think it's a very upsetting noise.
Oh, I love it for that reason, though. I'm like, it's effective. I think it's great. I mean, we get like a little bit of it, don't we, when he traps that ghost? That's like the hint of like,
it's
did
a
you
bit
hear
like
it?
Uncanny Valley. You know, where it's like, it is like a pain scream, but it's kind of like...
Well, I think there is a conscious effort in the cyber leader as well to let a bit more human through the voice. There's something he says, I've forgotten what it was or which sentence it is, where I think it's when he says, "You are proof," and the P is just a little bit more human than the rest of it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a very, very sort of, there's a person in there, a leader man in there. Yeah, so the parallel Torchwood. This is a very creepy building. They're like, we have a Torchwood, and it's empty.
Yeah, and there's like cables all over the floor and shit.
Yeah, I'm like, surely if you have a Torchwood, it's active. You've been having a war against Cybermen for 3 odd years. Like, what the hell is happening? and Pete Tyler goes over to the window, and he's like, look at this empty room and all these blimps, and how there's no Cybermen here anymore. A world at peace. And then he's like, but it's not the Wizard Doctor.
I like that the blimps stayed, though.
That's cool. Yeah, that was like the staple, wasn't it? It was like, oh yeah, and the Zeppelins too.
Global warming.
See, right? and I've done it again, where I was just like, look how good and subtle the politicsy global warming bit is.
Right.
Look how nicely it was just like, yep, global warming is this thing, and then him being like, but this is worse than that. And then you get like your little fiction bit as well, and I'm like, this is good. You're doing good.
Saying that it's all going to be flooded and shit because the ice caps are melting, and I'm like, oh, take notes.
But he's not like, we have to change as a people. Doesn't matter though,
the
does
thing
it?
Is, as a society, if you attach our lids to a recycle together,
stop
we
it.
Can stop
it now. Don't even at my Dr. Pepper right now, my Doc EP, because I am attached to recycle together. Me and my vestigial twin.
I hate it so much, actually.
Well, I love Dr. Pepper. Friend of the show.
I don't like how much more difficult it is to put the lid on a bottle now. Like, it frustrates me.
You got to snap it in the right position. If you don't, you got to twist it the wrong way.
And then,
until it finds its place in the world.
I don't like it. As we have established, I'm not strong enough to
open a bag of sweets.
So how am I supposed to put a lid back on a bottle now?
There are certain parts of mine and your lives over the last, like, I don't know, what feels like 8 years of knowing you. Like, that I just saw, that I wish I had on camera, and that is one of them.
Me being unable to open a bag of sweets.
That is one of them.
To be fair, it was really difficult.
It wasn't. Not to, like, really... It was not a difficult bag of sweets to open.
She is.
I loosened it.
She is.
There's that, and also the time I threw that thing at you at the Travelodge. If I could have that on camera to show you it, to see what it looked like, I think you would love that. I hope it didn't hurt.
I didn't.
Okay, good. I don't know why. I didn't think it was going to hit you in the face, to be fair. I just sort of flung it. And then...
Right round.
And then it, like, did a full wraparound of you. So, like, I'm pretty sure they go to Pete's world, right?
Yeah, they go to Pete's world, and then they do all of that. And then Pete's like, you can do this. And then they go back.
Yeah.
And that's when Rose does the whole, like, bad wolf thing, where she's like, I met the Emperor. I did this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk now, because...
You are?
Yeah. All of the things that I hate about Clara, Rose does them here, but good.
Okay, so take me through it.
Okay, so yeah, when she's talking about the Emperor, she's doing all this.
Oh, yeah, she's doing the threat.
And the thing about Clara, you know, as
as a character
established.
Yeah.
Is that she like wants to be the Doctor or whatever. Not like explicitly, but that's like, you know, the whole thing where it's like I can do these dangerous things too and shit like that.
Well, I my thing with Clara, I think she's very indecisive of whether she wants the normal life or the Doctor life. I think that is a thing that she has a lot where she's like, I want to date and have a job and do these
I think
things.
after Danny Pink, then it
switches straight over to the Doctor.
And that's like
She gives up immediately.
yeah, right. She's like, well, that one's done.
She's Barry Keoghan's character in Banshees in the show. And she's like, there goes that dream.
Like my whole thing with Rose in this episode is that she stands up to the Daleks.
Yay.
Which is, you know, a very sort of like Doctor thing to do, obviously.
Yeah.
She's like talking back. She's like gonna do all of these planned things and stuff. And I am fine with it because she's met a Dalek before. She's stood up to them before. She's done all of this. She's allowed to know things about like the handprint and all of that because she's done it before. She's experienced it before.
Yeah.
It's not just her coming in and being like, I am the smartest person in the room, which is like not actually what Clara does, but I feel like that's like the vibe that Clara is very much trying or like looking for a way to be like, oh, here's the thing. Whereas with Rose, everything feels natural. Everything feels earned. And when she's like, oh, the background radiation, the timer, the power source, all that sort of stuff, then it's like, okay, cool. This happened to you before. So the Doctor has explained this thing to you. And now you can like relay this, which is why I don't mind it when Rose does this. But when Clara does it, I hate it because it doesn't feel anywhere near as earned.
Well, I think like, so for Rose, I think it does feel earned.
We've seen it as well, right?
She's been kidnapped so many times. She's like have had to outsmart people. But she's also actively been around and listened to the Doctor as much as she can, which isn't to say that Clara doesn't do that. But when we also know that this is Rose's last episode.
Yeah. So this is like the fully evolved version of Rose Tyler.
Yeah, this is like level 50. You are there, you know, elite.
Level 100 mob boss Rose Tyler.
Yeah, you know, you're gonna go legendary hunting on your own, and then you'll come back and you might do the Elite Four rematch at the very, very end.
Yeah, right.
Which is what this is the Elite Four round
and
one.
And she knows that because she learned it all from Looker.
The Cult of Skaro is the Elite Four. And then Davros is the champion after the Elite Four rematch. Oh God,
mate! If you gave Davros Cynthia's Garchomp,
I'd never fought Cynthia. No, wait, I did in the new one, not in the original though. With this being like Rose's last thing, because I think Rose is also written kind of differently in Journey's End, where I'm not super into it.
She definitely is. However, it's been years.
Yeah, I'm like, it's been years, so I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but I'm not a huge fan. I'm like, I kind of liked you when you were, because she is not. I think Rose works better when she is asking the questions, but when it feels like that, when she is asking the questions, she is taking on board the answer.
Yeah, she's like not, actively listening.
She's not asking for the audience, she's asking for herself. Like, when that happens, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But when sometimes she just asks a thing, and I'm like, that's just for us. That's all that is for. Clara, though, I think the example that comes straight to my brain is, I think it's Death in Heaven, where she's like, Clara Oswald never existed, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. She's like, I'm the Doctor. Who else do you know who could change their face? And
I'm like, who's
fucking shut up?
Who's believing you?
See, yeah, like when Clara does it, it feels like she's doing her best I am the Doctor impression.
Yeah.
Whereas when Rose does it, it's like, I am a person who has learnt these things through experience and information, and like, I will use them.
And I mean, her threats aren't empty. She did turn the Emperor to dust.
Yeah.
The Clara. I'm gonna do that with every companion, by the way. That's it.
The
now.
Super Rose.
The Super Rose, the Clara, the Martha, the Donna, the Dr. Donna.
She absolutely. She went full, you know.
But
call the Emperor Dalek a Dabari star system, because she just absolutely shredded the bitch.
I also think that after Russell pisses off and we get Moffat,
yes,
I think the Daleks are much less threatening all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like in this way, you see it and you're like, oh, they are like, yes, they can always kill. I don't know what it is. I think it's when we see them after this, they never seem to have a plan.
Well, I think that you can tell in that the immediate like handling of Daleks, right? Because like when Russell T Davies has, by the way, one of those guys where I have to say Russell T Davies.
You have to say the full name.
Yeah, feels weird. Just
I can say like, RTD.
I can say RTD, yeah, but just being like Russell.
Yeah, no, weird. Yeah.
But yeah, when he brings them around the first time, it's Dalek.
Yeah.
And it's like, killing machine, oh my god, this is the biggest, it's one thing and it is the biggest threat on the planet. Whereas when Moffat introduces them, he has jokes about jammy dodgers and them serving tea to people and puts them all in Crayola colours.
I'm fine with colourful Daleks. I'm okay with that, but they're just not threatening ever.
No, which to not have Daleks be threatening is very impressive, considering that their whole deal is just murder.
Well, okay,
like that's the most you can boil a Dalek story down to and have it still work. Is just that you are different, you die.
Well, the problem that I have is that Moffat's Daleks can be beaten by monologuing.
Yeah.
Because they will just listen. The reason that this one is listening is because they need someone to open the Ark. Otherwise, I have no doubt in my mind that they would just kill switch immediately.
Well, when they first leave the Ark, they are just shouting exterminate. Rose is the one who's like, hey, I know who you guys are, don't you want to know how?
Otherwise they would have just opened fire on all three of them. And they kill Rajesh like that. I couldn't snap. So, like you say, I think it's kind of an impressive thing to be able to make the Daleks not threatening. Like, not actively scary. I don't think that I'm like, oh, scary Dalek. But I like, they are. You see them and you're like, that's
This
a
is
thing
another
that could
thing.
kill you.
This is the only line from this episode that makes me go,
Oh, God. What is it?
It's when Jackie and the Doctor are, like, upstairs.
Yeah.
At the beginning with the phone call and stuff. And Jackie says something to the Doctor and she's like, oh, God, Rose was terrified of the Daleks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was she? Like, not in the sense of, like, they are a thing that wants to kill me, so I'm automatically frightened of them. But I'm like, I don't know. It feels like this is not the thing that Rose is terrified of.
I'd say I do. I think that fear is good if it's placed somewhere. Like fear doesn't mean that she's not being a big brave girl about it.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I think to a point where if you see a Dalek, like when Rose does see a Dalek, I would say that the look that she has is fear.
Yeah.
Not because she is like actively scared, but because she knows that if they show up, it is like worse than bad news.
Yeah, I suppose. It's just that, like, I don't know. I can't imagine, like, a situation in all of this where Rose and Jackie have been having a conversation and Rose has been like that. But then again, I'm very, very curious about a lot of things that don't matter to the overall story. And one of those things is, how much do Rose and Jackie talk about the travels?
I mean, when she shows up, she's like, oh, that phone, you never use it. That was
like, how much
Ghost, right?
do they talk? Like, you know, do they come back and Rose is like, oh, God, I got to tell you about this thing.
I would talk to you, Jackie.
Innit? Like, I know if it was me and my mum, if I was, like, out with the Doctor, I'd come back and be like, Mum, you are never going to believe what happened.
No, like, because we have that thing with Amy and the Doctor, right, where the Doctor's like, you should know this.
Yeah,
you've seen the Daleks before. And that is, like, Moffat's one attempt of keeping Russell T Davies stuff in the canon, and then he just sort of...
And then he's like, nah, fuck that, actually.
And then he's like, oh, it's effort, actually, to do all that stuff. So, yeah, the Daleks are out in here.
Yeah, out and about, on the town, girls' night.
Stop it. We get the exposition of the Doctor and Pete being like, you know, hey, there's a Jackie on the other world. She might still be alive, because the Doctor has no idea up to that point.
Yeah,
She's just been kidnapped by Cybermen. Then
she might be alive.
Then he was kidnapped to Pete's world.
What a horrible thing, by the way. Imagine being Pete and the Doctor's like, Jackie might still be alive. You know, your wife that got turned into a Cyberman. She might be alive on my world, and then they go, and then Jackie's been turned into a Cyberman again, and the Doctor's like, haha, yikes.
Yeah, well, Pete's reaction is, my wife died. I'm like, yeah, and he's
her
like,
husband died. Good match.
Yeah. Good soup.
That's all it takes.
It's not what you want, though, is it? I mean, there is. Well, I'll get to the moment later on. Anyways, it's fine for now. Then when the Doctor goes back, he makes a landline call downstairs to Jackie while she's on the stairs.
When she, you know, the classic Jackie Tyler moment where she's like, "I'm on a staircase." Like, can you see anything that
fire
will
extinguisher?
identify you?
That's so Jackie.
Yeah.
Yvonne's dead at this point. Once she's, you know, she dies before Jackie gets out. So
yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, she does her whole "I'm a big brave girl" thing when she's like, "I did my duty for Queen and country."
And she brings that back. Yeah, you certainly did, lady. Okay, so I'm just having a look. Because then the Doctor does his little surrender to the Cybermen to form a little alliance.
Yeah.
Uses 2 Cybermen as bait. They die immediately, and they walk away from it like, well, we used you. It's fine.
I mean, I suppose 2 less Cybermen to worry about, right?
Yep.
Doing God's work.
Because he's. I think there's not too many of them. There are some cool shots in these episodes.
Yes, there is.
Some really cool, like, iconic stuff. The Daleks coming out of the sphere. I think that's iconic as hell. this bit where he waves the flag and he's like face to face
Right
with the
up to
Cyberman.
it,
I'm
yeah.
like, that's
And he's like,
such a
I
cool
surrender
shot.
unto you. A very good idea.
Yeah, because you've got, it's a 2005 camera, I guess. 'Cause that's probably when it was all shot in 2005. But I'm like, I don't love Doctor Who being like super duper cinematic. But if it was this kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, 'cause it still feels a bit homey.
I think that the difference is that you can do things with cameras that are impressive that aren't what the Whittaker era does. That's one of the things about the Whittaker era that I don't love, is just the way that it looks.
I think it's too shiny for me.
Yeah, it's like my biggest thing with that is it's in Demons of the Punjab. I might have mentioned this before, I don't know. Where the aliens look like Power Rangers.
Yeah,
villains.
I think you have mentioned.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't like the way that looks.
There is a lot from what I've seen of the new stuff. I mean, a lot of Whittaker's stuff is like heavy CG. Yep. The Pating, the giant spiders. I'm sorry for bringing it up, but it's there. The giant spiders. A lot of it slips my brain. Those things that are just lights. That one time with the Master.
Yeah.
I think it was in the Tesla one. They are there as well. They're just lights, and I'm like, cool. Even when that Not Rachnos comes back, even a lot of that is CG. Yeah. One of the things that has made me just super happy about the what I've seen from the new shoots, a lot of it's practical again. Yeah. And I'm like, yay. Because I think the Doctor Who has always had that thing where it's always looked a bit tangible, whether you're using bubble wrap and tin foil or like high class silicone. It's always looked like there's been man hours put into it. Like
the Bertie Bassett man in the Happiness Patrol.
The licorice thing. Yeah. I've seen pictures of it. Is it good?
The Happiness Patrol.
Is it a good episode? Katie, is it a good episode?
It's an episode.
Yeah, but is it a good one?
It's an episode.
It's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I like real Doctor Who, and the thing is as well, Doctor Who is very much like, there's been a lot of exhibitions. There's been a lot of like
prop things.
Yeah, shit like that. And I think it's cool to be able to go to a place and like be able to visually see all of these things and like.
You go into one room, it's just green walls and a green ceiling, like, and this is where they shot everything, and you're like, oh, cool, interesting, fun. Another great Jackie line. They tried to download me. Yeah. Haven't we all, Jackie? We love you to bits.
So yeah, Mickey opens the Ark sort of accidentally because he gets clotheslined by a Cyberman.
Oh yeah, he gets like, and can you imagine how heavy that would actually be?
Right?
Like at first,
well, it like fully knocks him, and I assume like Mickey is probably quite a big dude.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and especially like freedom fighter Mickey, who's probably had to do a lot more like physical shit. He's big man.
There's a delivery of the Doctor where he's like, you're gonna touch the Ark or whatever, and Rose goes, all right. Like probably gives it some attitude, and I'm like, all right then, go on.
Mouth off to a Dalek. She's her mother's daughter.
And then the Doctor shows up, and he's like, oh no, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah. Says that very fast. It's a very rhythmy thing.
It's very good at opening doors.
It's very good. And then boom, there's a bit in one of the confidentials. It was either the confidential or David Tennant's video diary where he was like, I wanted to try and slide through the legs of a Cyberman.
Oh yeah,
and he did do it, but they couldn't, like, it didn't look right in it, so they cut it, and I'm like, God, if you can do that and actually make it look kind of solid, please put it in an episode.
Well, don't they doesn't Jodie get to slide across the floor away from Daleks at one point?
Does she?
Yeah, in one of the New Year's specials, she like slides across the floor, and I'm pretty sure if you look at it, it's a really bad like stuntman, and you can tell, like that bit in High School Musical too, where you can tell it's like a stuntman dressed as Vanessa Hudgens jumping into the pool.
I don't remember.
Oh my God!
We'll look this up
I will show you it later because it's great.
Because that sounds excellent, actually.
But yeah, so that's that. Ark's been, opened.
And no, not yet.
Well, no, but it's been activated.
Enter the Doctor to save the Rose.
Yep.
And then we have the Cult of Skaro.
Yes. Okay. Right. Here's the thing I wanted you to find. So when I might be skipping forward a bit, but it's fine. When the like sort of, I don't even know what you would call it, like the Torchwood room with the sun glider and all that kind of shit, like like a big warehousey thing. When they're having the shoot out there before the Daleks like open the ceiling. Yep. When they first enter the room,
when it's just the Doctor, right? He's going to get the magna clamp. So
go from here.
Okay.
And look in the top right corner. Just play.
Top right. Okay.
Yep. There is a Cyberman that gets shot. and this is something that I noticed the first time I ever watched, and it's in my brain.
Oh my god!
Right?
He goes over the railing.
Every single time I watch this episode, I always look there just because I'm like,
never,
yeah.
ever in my life.
Right?
Ooh, I need to see it again.
He just goes.
His arms are out and everything.
It's great. It's so good.
My god. Oh. Oh, I love this show. I love how stupid this show is sometimes. You didn't need to do that. No one was looking, but amount of viewers looking in that corner at that time.
Right.
Minimal.
But yeah,
oh my
I
god.
notice it every single time.
Oh. Anyways, Daleks have names. Thayer, Sek, Jast and Khan.
Yeah. Apparently one of them was going to be Dalek Rabe. Like R-A-B-E. Yeah. And then they changed it because it sounded a bit like Ray.
Okay.
So that's why it
sounded too human.
I think it's Sek. I think it's Sek that was going to be Dalek Rabe.
Yeah.
But apparently on some merchandise, because it was like a late decision to change it. So apparently on some merchandise
it still says that.
Dalek Rabe.
That's cool. What do you think of giving Daleks names?
I'm fine with it in this circumstance, like as in the Cult of Scarrows thing. But I don't want every Dalek to have a name. I don't want every Dalek
to have a name. But I mean, like, when you have a special one, you know, like when they have the Supreme Dalek later on, and then like that comes back in the Witch's Familiar stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's there on Asylum as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, one, how did you get out? And two, and like, but I like it in this case. But I also like it in general if we do have a recurring Dalek that's not rusty. Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, I like the idea that there is some hierarchy and shit in within Daleks.
I think that being like their hate machines is good, but it often doesn't take them far enough.
Yeah, and also, it's kind of boring.
Once you've seen it, you've seen it.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like the first time we see a Dalek, it's like, okay, this is a Dalek, and then immediately now it's like, okay, now the Daleks are doing something cooler, like something different.
Yeah, when Rose says like Daleks don't have names, as a viewer you go, yeah, they don't actually. What the hell?
Like again, is another thing that I think if you like say with the Cult of Scarrow, obviously when they come back,
yeah,
then it's kind of like, oh, these guys again. It gives them a bit more like recognition factor
because they're not just Daleks.
They're not just Daleks.
They're Daleks you've seen before and you know them.
Yeah, and the thing is again with the case of like the Cult of Scarrow specifically is that like this is their plan.
Yeah.
Here they're going to unleash all these Daleks, you know, do Dalek things. So then when you see them come back again later, then it's like, oh, so they have another plan.
They're going to
they're going to do something else. Yeah.
And they do. That's the like. I think that is just a thing that Russell Davies does. He's like, yeah, the Daleks, they always have a plan.
Yeah.
And I don't think he doesn't. I don't think he wrote Daleks Take Manhattan or whatever.
No. Like I'm fine with Daleks having plans where the plan is just kill everyone. But you know, if they do the plan in a fun way,
as long as they're killing in a fun way,
yeah, right.
Then it's fine.
As long as they keep it spicy, then that's all right.
Then so after this they get out of the Cult of Scarrow opens, I guess, or at least it starts to activate. It's not open yet. Cybermen are dead. They go into the hallway. I don't really have any notes on this scene. The Jackie and Pete.
I
love it.
A few. Get it up because there are two things I need you to see.
Oh right, where
but
are we?
My
I don't need to hear though, right?
No, I just need to see. My first thing though, just before we get into that, is I'm like, imagine just being Jackie, like for a second, like just in this situation, because like the thing is, we're after Father's Day, right? When Rose is like, after Father's Day, but in the season 1 finale, where Rose is like, oh, there was a blonde girl, and
that was
and
me,
that was
Mum, yeah.
And Jackie clearly is like upset when she's hearing about it. So I can only assume that Rose did not tell her about the parallel world. Again, I don't know how much they talk about this stuff. But
I wouldn't.
I think it's fair to say
because she didn't say where Mickey had went either. Yeah. Otherwise, she could have brought that up.
And I think like it would just be absurdly upsetting to be like, oh yeah, I met my dad, and also
if you didn't like me meeting him once for an hour, you're not gonna like me spending an evening at a party with him.
Yeah, so like Jackie clearly, probably doesn't know about this. So 1 second, she's just escaped being converted. Then she bumps into 2 more Cybermen. And then they explode, and then her dead husband
is the one who saves her. holding a gun.
How fucking wild, right? Like,
It's true.
Jesus Christ. But no, it's two reaction shots in this episode.
From her?
In this episode, sorry.
In
From
this scene.
Mickey and the Doctor.
Oh, yeah, I remember
The first
those.
one is, when she's like, there wasn't anyone else. And they both have a look of like,
Hey.
they both kind of go like, oh, okay.
Why him? It's Pete from another universe.
Jackie has a line where she says, well, like something about like they're talking about like what she's done or whatever, and she's like says something, and Pete is like, you've brought her up, and like nods at Rose, and Mickey and the Doctor
I like, yeah.
they have a look when he says like, you brought her up.
Mm-hmm.
This is very hard to do without.
Yeah, I'm like, he's, how can you be standing there? I just got lucky, lived my life. You were left on your own, didn't marry again, or and then this is where she says there was never anyone else. Like, whew,
Yeah, right. Like, okay.
that's some heavy stuff. That like, and then what was the other one we're looking at?
It's just after this when he says you brought her up, like Rose Tyler. That's not all bad or something like that. I don't know. And they
Their
both
little
they
grins.
both look
Aw.
over and they both grin.
See, my one note about this is and it's not a reaction that you need to see. I think it's a bit earlier actually. I will see if I can find it. Pete's face. So when the Doctor's trying to like just expose it, like it's Pete from a different universe, there are parallel worlds, Jackie, every single decision we make creates a parallel existence, a different dimension where, and Jackie says, oh, just shut up. The look that Pete gives, like, for me as a viewer, is where I go, that's the same woman to you now.
Yeah.
You just fell in love all over again.
I am.
And like I melt like a little bit. Because I watched one upstairs in my room, and
Yeah.
then like for a change of scenery, just from like to refresh my brain, I watched the other one down here. And I was watching it, and I was like, he's dead set on the idea of like, and you can see going in. And I can't, obviously this is not a real thing. You can't imagine it going to another like universe and seeing someone that you died there and being like, oh, they exist, and you probably couldn't comprehend it. So this idea of him trying and telling himself over and over and over and over and over, that's not your wife, that's not your wife, that's not your wife, that's, it looks like her, but it's not her. And then she says something that your wife would have said beat for beat, and he's just like, yield.
I mean,
he still says later on, he's like, you're not her.
But he drops it so quick.
Yeah, so hard. He's like, yeah, just come here.
As we know, as the premier Jackie Tyler fan
club.
Yeah, as co-president of the Jackie Tyler fan club,
the Camille Kajuri Corporation.
This scene specifically was one where I was like, actually, you know what? I love this part. Because I'm like, it's always been like a nice heartwarming thing, but this time specifically, I'm like, oh no, because like,
we've talked so much about her.
Yeah, and I'm like, the thing is,
and those conversations are going to stop now.
I know. But like, obviously with Jackie and Pete, like, I don't know, main world Jackie, our Jackie,
Warjax.
Like, her relationship with Pete, as we found out on Father's Day, not, like, no doubt they loved each other, but, like, not a great sort of, like, deal,
not
right?
in a good relationship you were.
Yeah, and same with Parallel World Pete and Jackie. How, they're, like, they say they're splitting up, and it's like, and I think that the thing that makes this work so well is that, like,
they know what it's like to lose each other.
Yeah, and this is a version of Pete, like, Parallel World Pete is, like, it's the Pete that she fell in love with, but like, he's successful, and I'm not saying that's like the thing that does it, but like, he's not like a guy with his head in the clouds anymore. He's still that guy, but he's got like a sort of business sense, and he's like gone through some stuff. He's like sort of more mature and stuff. And then this version of Jackie, like our version of Jackie, she's the same like cocky, like sort of
has an answer for everything
version, that he knows, but she's not like as hard as his version of Jackie. She's like a softer
because
version.
She brought up her kid on her own.
Yeah, exactly. So like the two of them, like all of the issues that they had before, they've just like negated, and then they can just slot back into each other's, and it's just
okay.
No, it just really warms my heart. Like, it just I care more about Jackie and Pete's happy ending in this episode than most other things. I think.
No, I think like. Other than like that one little tidbit of that's where I think he just falls in love all over again.
Yeah.
I have like absolutely nothing else. I don't think there is a thing you could do to make this scene better. There is one deleted thing that the Doctor says to Mickey, or Mickey says to the Doctor, that I've seen a clip of, and it's one of those things where I'm like, it undercuts it. I'm glad it's cut. Are you being real?
Yep, I am.
Of course you are. Yeah. So after this, they go into that, the room we were talking about where the Cyberman falls, and the Doctor braves it for the clamps. It's surprising that he doesn't die here, to be fair, because that crossfire is insane.
Yeah.
Lasers from all sides. He should be dead. But yeah, he braves it for the clamps, and then the arc opens. They elevate because they have to say it before they do it, which goes away very quickly.
Yeah.
Because that would be annoying as hell, right? I don't have any other notes until they get to the top of the tower again, and they're like, what? Ask me what it is with the glasses. And the Rose goes full teacher's pet. What's it with the glasses? Like she's proper trying.
Imagine the last thing I have on there is like imagine the lift ride. You know
How
when
awkward
you
that
know
would be.
you know when they're like running and the Doctor's like, we'll take the stairs, and then Jackie's like, I've done all 45 fucking stories of these.
That's
and
us
then
in the tower.
yeah. And then Jake's like, we could always take the lift. Like, I love the idea, like elevator music is playing in the background and they're all like, come on, like there's fucking Daleks up there, man, we gotta go. Ow.
Did you actually hurt yourself there?
Yeah, you know where I said I had a bruise?
Oh yeah.
When I went upstairs to pee earlier, it's gone purple.
Oh god.
So this bruise is coming up. Nice. And painful.
Toasty. Oh, painful. Toasty bruise, yeah. So Rose becomes a full teacher's pet in that scene.
Yeah.
Now,
She
look
does.
how sort of
She looks so sweet there.
this material. I don't know what it is, but it's fluffy as hell. I imagine it's a nightmare.
It's one of them things. It looks like after you wash it a couple of times, it just starts falling to bits.
If you put some Velcro on, you rip an entire sleeve off by mistake. It's like, oh, gone. Yeah, and then this is where the Doctor is like, we're gonna send them to hell, and Mickey's like, you're gonna send the Daleks to hell. Then he just nods to Jake, and he's like, Tawdry was good, and I'm like, that is pretty metal, actually, of a plan.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of sick. When you say it like that, that is kind of sick. I do not think the Doctor had any intentions of telling Rose that the breach was going to close permanently, and Pete grasses him up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and then you're going to close it, right? And the Doctor's like, motherfucker.
I mean, I think it's that whole, that little bit of manipulative-y Doctor that he has in there.
Well,
a little bit. Not in a bad way, but just where it's like,
and the risk factor for her.
Yeah,
it's not worth
same
him.
with the sending her home in the TARDIS last time. Like, there's that. Although before
thought if there was gonna be one more split, you could have just had Jackie do it. She wouldn't have flew.
Yeah,
she's got no.
That's okay.
She's
so
got no rads.
Here's the thing.
She's just regular rad.
The rule
for background radiation.
Bit loose, innit?
How so?
Okay, because I'm assuming we're skipping ahead a bit to this.
Well, I mean, this is where they come up. Well, they sort of formulate the plan, and
we'll get to it then. Let's start.
Well, no, because of the wonderful things he does. This is so that I know, right? This is half an hour in. Mm-hmm. The Doctor just explaining the plan. He's got the glasses on. What is it with the glasses? And then he, does the background radiation thing. You have at this point, 30 minutes in, you've got roughly 8 more minutes until Rose gets sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
Until she gets the voidy suck job. So, you're just mad. Just annoyed.
I'm scared it.
Yeah. Because there's a 10-minute epilogue-y sort of, bookending part of this.
Yeah.
So we are close to that ending.
Well, this is one of the points where I was like, this episode's almost done, right? And I'm like, no, actually.
There's 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's a bit left.
And I'm like, that whole Rose bit of going to the beach is 10 minutes long. Considering he's only got 2 minutes left, it's a long 2 minutes, Yeah, so I don't think he was going to... What was it you were going to say about this rule being loose?
Well...
We may as well do it now, because this is where he's looking through the glasses at them. Yeah, you just drink your Monster, it's cool. I'm only dead air.
Yeah. So, they, the plan is that everything that is soaked in this void stuff will get pulled back in.
Mm-hmm.
Dalek Sec, and therefore also, we assume the other members of the Cult of Skaro.
Yes.
They all have time to emergency temporal shift.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, I don't know if they were safe within the void sphere from the void stuff. But the Genesis Arc gets sucked in, and so do all of the Daleks that came out of it.
But they don't get sucked.
But they don't get sucked, because you see it, it's immediate. It's just like...
Yeah, and also when we see Dalek Sec in the air doing the emergency temporal shift
he's not
thing,
getting
he's not moving.
He's just flat stood there. Then again, when Pete saves Rose, also does not immediately get sucked in, and he's this close to the wall. Like it's
my headcanon for that is that it's like it's not actually slow motion, but they shot it to be like a little bit where this, even though this is actually like 3 to 5 seconds of footage, it's meant to be about 1 second in real time.
Like I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
that's fine. Like from that,
because I was watching and I was like, you should be gone.
But still, with the speed that everything is fucking flying back in there.
Yeah,
it feels like that should happen too. Same again, how traveling in the TARDIS or like traveling to the parallel worlds and shit does it. What about other companions?
I was thinking that because then he was like, Jackie's got no void stuff, and I was like, but she's traveled in the TARDIS now.
Yeah,
she didn't go through time, so it must just be a parallel Earth thing. So they do mention at one point that it is a space, like it's traveling in the TARDIS, space time, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they sort of in their own episode retcon it to be like just a parallel world jump. That's the only thing that does it.
Like when I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I guess that's like me realizing now in real time that okay, whatever, parallel world thing. But like they are pulling Cybermen back from like India and stuff. So clearly, like the reach of this is like, imagine if you're just like any single other companion.
Well, they had
gone.
It doesn't make sense for Dalek Sec, but he does say like the pull is not going to be as strong for the Doctor and Rose because they've only parallel world jumped a few times, whereas these guys have been in the void for like 3 years.
Yeah,
for them. We do not know how long the Cult of Skaro has been in there. I think the only thing I could maybe like work around for that would be the Genesis Ark flies in super fast because it has housed Daleks with the radiation.
Yeah.
Millions of them.
I love it when it's sucking them all in, though, and they just start bouncing off the walls.
I'm like, oh, wait, so, like, what if you're getting sucked in from here and there's a corner? Like, do you stop at the corner, or do you, like, get dragged around the corner?
Well, you would think that the Daleks would just smash, because I don't want to say that a wall is stronger than a Dalek. You would think it'd just fucking blast right through it.
I like the there's a bit that's shot from like outside when they're all getting pulled in. It's like roughly here, and I was like, can we see the origin point of them all being pulled in? And look at them all go. We can. I don't know where it is, but there, like that kind of thing.
Oh,
like,
literally
whoa,
just through the window.
It's so insane. I love it so much.
Yeah. Also, sorry, we didn't mention this because it was right before. Big up Yvonne Dolph.
Yeah, she does her duty for Queen and Country.
When she hits them with the "You shall not pass."
God, I hate it when robots cry oil.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, shut up.
I'm like, I hate when robots cry.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. That is it. Like there's not much else to say other than Rose gets sucked in.
Yeah.
And Pete saves her.
I'll tell you what, I do like the way that the Doctor is screaming though when she's going. That's like a proper that's a proper gut wrenching noise.
He screams. Screamy muck muck. That's what happens. He gets all scream muck muck because Rose gets sucked in. Which, like, she gets spaghettified. The process of spaghettification.
She reappears in the parallel world. She's 10 feet tall.
It's beginded. Your dimension cannon. Look at her go. Do you know what? I do have a note about the windy acting in this. All I could do was look at their feet.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, obviously they're not being blown to high heaven, they're doing the acting thing. And so they're just like swinging their legs about. Like, if we just keep your eye on their feet. Just like, they're doing a good job of it.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I'm like, Tennant being, taller, spends most of his time standing at like an angle on the lever thing.
Yeah.
Just to give him that slanted look and then like swinging a leg every now and then. But Billy Piper being shorter is just sort of dancing about. And it just looks super fun to like actually shoot.
That's what it would be like if me and you did it.
Yeah. There's a look that Tennant gives. Right. So this bit here where she's like, I need to stay.
Yeah.
And he's got the thing in his pocket. And he realises like, oh, she is so stubborn. Are you going to do a cry?
No, I did earlier though.
We'll watch the scene again, don't worry. It's like a regeneration scene. We're like, oh, we'll watch that one. That look, when I saw it earlier, absolutely killed me. Like sneaking that around in him, just like that.
Yeah.
Because that reaction shot, there's not even like she doesn't press the button herself. He doesn't press it for her. He lets them do it,
and she just turns.
She turns and sees him, and he like just gives her that one last look of like, this is it, and it's not it because she comes back. All the coordinates are 666.
Yep.
Fuck's sake.
Right.
Like, okay. Then Yvonne saves the day and cries oil. Those are my notes. Could they not try the auto breach thing that happened earlier? You know, when the handles went up on their own. Could they not have
done that? Probably. Probably.
But Billy Piper's contract was over.
That's probably what the Doctor would have done if Rose had stayed there, right? Because he couldn't have done them both by himself. So
yeah.
Okay, here's a question as well, because Pete seems very immediately on board with the fact that this is his Jackie.
Now.
Yeah, like, you know, he's gone from being like, you're not my wife, to then having like 2 minutes with her and then being like, actually, no, you are my wife.
Yeah, you're the same person, actually.
He never really has any like sort of attachment to Rose because he never had a kid.
No.
He had a dog.
What?
So, you know. So, like, he does not have that same attachment.
This is still bang out of order when he's like, you're not my daughter.
Yeah, right?
So I'm like, you don't do that.
Does he go back just for Jackie's sake? Because
he must do.
I have this thing in my brain that I have decided is how it happens. Is that, like, I don't think he hates her or anything, but I think it's like, you're not my kid. I have a like familiarity with my wife, but I don't know who you are, really. Yeah. Other than a weird maid at my party.
Because this is not the Pete that Rose met either. This is
this is a stranger basically. And in my brain, the reason that Pete
he met her that one time during Agent Steel, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was like a weird maid once, but like the reason reason in my brain that Pete goes back is purely because he knows that Jackie will never be happy there if she does not have her daughter.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
And that he does it for her.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny when 2 minutes later, like off screen time, not of actual lifetime, when she's like, we took Dad's old Jeep. And I'm like, oh, he got over that one quick. Like, she's straight up calling him Dad.
Yeah, I noticed that at the end where I'm like, oh, you're throwing the... I was going to say throwing the D card out there, but I mean, I don't... Let's not use that. And then I do think, if this, I think for me being nostalgia is like the Doctor Who episode, which I guess is fine. I think that this is one of the Doctor Who scenes, though.
Oh, this is absolutely one of the Doctor Who scenes. Like, it's very, very iconic.
Like, come on. Look at the... I haven't yet, not like, I have the last few times where I've seen The Confidential. I plan on watching these two tonight just to can drill it into me how horrible I feel about this every time I watch it. Because even though this time around I'm happy to see Rose go, I'm like, this has been a good arc. It's been a good arc. I still get the 6-year-old who's about it all. I'm still not emotionally apt, and I definitely wasn't back then. But I think if I had the connection to that show then that I do now, I'd have wept as a 6-year-old.
Oh, I mean, that's where I was.
I mean, yeah, you knew. I didn't.
I do have a thing.
Imagine this being like your first foray into the show, and I'm like, why is everyone crying?
Like, I do have a whole thing with this episode that I don't think it feels as season finale as some of the other ones, but I think that's just because...
You mean like the scope's not as big?
Yeah, but I think it is just a scope thing because like this ending is iconic, but I think that Parting of the Ways feels more like a season finale on paper to me.
Do you think that's because of the regeneration? Though?
No, I think what it is that you could take... I don't want to say a screenshot of any part, but you could take like screenshots from it and I would be like season finale, whereas I feel like there are some screenshots of this episode that I'm like, oh, that's just an episode. And I think that it obviously, like, I feel the same way. I think that the season 3 finale, this is like not to the detriment of this episode at all. Like, I'm not shitting on it for it. I'm just saying, like, visually. Because I think that season 3 and 4, obviously, they are huge as well, those season finales.
I think that it might be a colour thing then.
Yeah, like, I don't know what it is.
I'm like, season 1 and season 4 are very, like, dark, dimly lit, especially when you're on Davros's ship. Like, they are very, like, dim lit. And that... The Davros ship also echoes a bit of the season 1 designs. Every now and then you do get a bit of that to like keep it consistent. I think that the way that the scope is different in this finale is that the season 1 finale, you get all these different POVs. You're in Big Brother, you're in all these different shows.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you are with...
Jack and everyone on the game station.
Yeah, sorry. Messages.
The controller and stuff.
Yeah, but you are seeing other places. This is strictly in one building.
Yeah.
In season 3, you have it's a 3-parter sort of finale. So you have the future, then you go to the past at one, like for the rest of
the
for
Valiant.
the last 2 episodes. Yeah, you've got the Valiant, which is the ship in the sky, the helicarrier. So you've got that, but then you also Martha goes to Earth and she spends some time with Lucifer and does all that kind of stuff. And you're in all these different places, and if the fight feels big,
yeah,
this fight doesn't feel so big.
I think the thing with this one is this feels more like personal stakes.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the whole...
Rose has had encounters with both of these before.
Rose's ending in this really overshadows the Cybermen Dalek stuff, which, as it should, because she's a companion leaving the show.
Yeah.
But
Have the Daleks and Cybermen ever met before this in Classic Who and done things, or...?
No, they were going to at one point, but Terry Nation shot down the idea.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that like the problem, I don't like to say not even problem, but like this is more personal stakes than world-ending stakes, which fine for this. Let's talk about the epilogue.
No. We're not going to talk about like the actual Doomsday track playing and the sad slaps against the wall and all that stuff. Do you not want to go into like the actual like absolute, like maybe not Oscar, but at least like Emmy or BAFTA, whatever the hell, like performances they are. Like the absolute devastation when the wind stops and the Doctor walks over to the wall. Do you know what I think is more devastating than any of that though?
What? The bit when Rose like...
No, it is...
When he walks away?
That shot where Canary Wharf's completely empty and he's on his own, but the lights
empty
are
of
on.
all the desks, by the way, as well. Like everything just
Void stuff.
went...
Void stuff. You got some you got some schmutz on the desk, some void stuff schmutz, you know.
But yeah, no, it is very, very...
I'm like, oh god. And that, like, and the music.
See, this is the thing. Like, my notes towards this part dropped off a bit. Just because
I
was like, right? I'm in it, yeah.
You're just like...
And the thing is, I'm like, it's sad. I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, it's very upsetting. I was crying, you know.
I just think that it's very... I think, there are ways that this could be done terribly. The hand on the wall and stuff, I'm like, this is so well thought out and produced that I'm like, yep, just a good solid thing all around. Epilogue.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like it. It's good.
Do you like that? I love you.
Yeah, no, I don't. But,
quite right.
Well,
sorry,
I don't mind Rose being like, I love you, because I feel
you don't like the Doctor saying it back.
No, I don't even like any implication that he would.
I mean, that's what the meta crisis Doctor's for, I guess.
Yeah.
And even he doesn't say it out loud. They will not let the Doctor say that out loud.
Because, like, I do not blame a single human companion ever for falling in love with the Doctor, because I'm like, I feel like you just would.
Do you?
Yes. Not Matt
I know
Smith.
your type, never mind.
Not Matt Smith, but
I know, I was going to say, I'm aware of your type. It's
if
fine.
I was travelling the universe with Peter Capaldi, Jesus Christ, we wouldn't even have gone on the first trip.
You need to be careful with what you say on the internet right now.
We wouldn't have even gone on the first trip. I would have gotten into the TARDIS and I would have been like, I love you, by the way. Like, straight out, you know?
Something is wrong with you. Yeah, the music's perfect. All of this is so good. And then she wakes up and it's like, Rose.
Yeah, I don't like the whispery Doctor voice.
I'm like, we don't get an explanation as to how or why that's happening. How he got to her in her dreams, Mr. Freddy Krueger.
I like that, because like this, she like wakes up in the middle of the night, right? And she's like, I was telling them about the dream, and Mickey is also there. And I'm like, does Mickey just live with them too?
Yeah, I guess so. One of the things, sorry, just before this, that I do love actually is this shot.
Where they're all holding hands.
But they're not. It's Jackie reaches for Pete and then she reaches for Mickey. She's like... because at least in my brain, I'm watching I'm going, oh, this is where Jackie is like, okay, us three, like, we need to be there, like, now.
Yeah.
Because whilst the Doctor is not dead, effectively dead.
Yeah, right? This is not only the worst breakup that you have ever gone through in your entire life.
And it is a breakup scene. I do have that here. This is a breakup scene.
This is the worst breakup you've ever gone through in your entire life. But then also somehow it's also the worst death you've ever experienced in your entire life.
Add on a whole other suitcase of bad on top of that.
Yeah,
right? There are certain things that I do think are a breakup phrase in this next scene that I'm like, that's a breakup sentence.
Yeah.
That's it. Am I ever going to see you again? Breakup sentence right there. Like, that's... You good?
Yeah.
You're doing inside noises.
Yeah, I feel like if you took this conversation out of context of Doctor Who and just, like, you know, put it on as like a short play somewhere, you could totally be like, this is a play about a breakup or whatever.
Uh-huh. Like, it's so good. It's unusually windy for a hologram though, innit? That little hair going there, Mr. Tennant. What's all that about? Yeah, my next note is just about being a breakup. I get why they didn't for the, you know, the having to do multiple takes of this sort of stuff. The only thing I think that would have made this more effective if when he disappeared she like just went to her knees. And just like in the sand, just where it was like, this is like, it's done. He didn't get to finish his sentence. She's never going to see him again, and she just like slumps to the ground, and then Jackie runs over. But I'm like, I imagine the sand and the, it's not going to be an easy thing.
The one thing that I do really, really love about this beach scene as well is Rose and Jackie run into each other.
Yeah, even though she's preggers.
Yeah,
she's having baby.
She is up the duff.
Do you see the doctor's reaction when she's like,
yeah, when she's like,
there's another one.
Yeah, because the way she says it totally implies that she is the pregnant one, right? Like, where she's like, just me.
She's not the pregnant one, though.
No.
She's not pregnant. Jackie's the pregnant one. Which, you know what? In your 40s, go on, girl. Power to you.
Yeah, is that how old? I don't know. I have a weird thing where I'm like,
I assume she's in her 40s. I mean, Parallel Universe Jackie was turning 40, right? And she was like, I want to be 39.
She says at the start of the episode she's 40.
Oh, and this?
Well, start last one, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go then, right? And, it's just, I'm back working in the shop. Oh, good for you.
Such a sad sentence.
She lies, though. That's a lie.
Yeah, but still.
She's like, no, I'm not. There's still a Torchwood on this planet. It's open for business. And I'm there. And I guess that's where most of Dimension Canon is set, on Pete's World, right?
I assume, yeah.
I mean, where else would it be? And then we get to the part of the episode that I fucking hate.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I formally present to you the first, but definitely not the last, Donna Noble fit check.
God, I hate. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, do the fit check. Fine.
It's wedding dress in it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying the word hate repeatedly. First, I know a fit check. Okay, fine, let's do it. It's a wedding dress, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know.
You said it like Stephen, right?
It's neither the best nor the worst Donna look. Because that's the thing, she's just the bride.
Flapper or slapper? Why haven't we been doing this the whole time?
Oh, because you got to wait till season 4 to do flapper or slapper.
No, we could play that with every companion.
Play flapper or slapper?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, this is audible, so no one can hear this. You actively got further up in your seat at the prospect of, instead of calling it a fit check now, calling it flapper or slapper.
Flapper?
This is flapper.
This is flapper.
Do you think we're going to get any slapper?
I think we'll get some slapper, you know.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm just making sure you don't.
I think we'll get some slapper.
Okay. Yeah, I hate this.
Like the whole scene? The whole...
Yeah. The whole back in the TARDIS... No, I don't hate the whole back in the TARDIS scene. He is reeling. Rose is essentially, like, actually dead now. There is no way they can communicate ever again. What a horrible MCU-style way to undercut a bit of emotion than to have this... And I get you need to do a cliffhanger because you want to bring everyone back for Christmas.
Well, Christmas, but yeah.
I understand it. I do get it. So it's really unavoidable, but that doesn't mean
there's no next time, so this is essentially the only tease we're getting.
Because they shoot those, like, in the summer normally.
Yeah.
Like, I understand there is no way around it. That does not mean I have to like it, and I don't. It's the only thing where I'm like, this is so much... When something is emotional and good, there's the whole thing that every time I try and write something, I'm like, this is not a happy ending. And I'm like, oh, not everything needs a happy ending, though, actually. Like, you just see it a lot, and that's, like, the go-to. This is one of those times where I'm like, this shouldn't have been a happy ending, and it's not. But this is meant to be kind of funny, and Catherine Tate's a comedy actress, and... I just don't... If there was a scene in between, maybe. I don't know what you would put there, especially with this runtime being almost 50 minutes already. But if there was another scene of him doing something and then he goes back to the TARDIS and there was someone there and then you get the what, fair enough. But I don't like it. I've just seen this dude cry. It's been, like, and there's no implication of a time jump. Maybe if that was a thing, if they were like, oh, we'll put, to make it look like there's a few minutes, maybe we cut, and he's like, we cut to black, or like fade to black, fade back in, but now he's wearing his coat just to imply that there's been a little bit of a thing going on. Maybe a little Big Finish thing or a comic booky thing. And then we have that, cool. But we don't. No. She's just there. I'm excited to see her though. Which is...
Yeah, we lived on her.
We need to do a little discussion on that, I suppose. But that's the episode. What would you give this? I'd give it a solid 4.5.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
Good.
Better than the last one.
Good soup. Oh, very much better than the last one.
Yeah.
The sass off is in
Story
this episode.
on a whole, 5.
Yeah, I feel like, for me, nostalgia-wise, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, look, it's for me. It's a bit of me, all right?
Yeah.
Trivia? Awesome.
This one might be a googly one because it's visual. I haven't seen it myself, so...
Okay, cool.
Apparently,
I am. Where?
There we go.
I'm at the
So
ready.
Doomsday aired 2006, same week as the World Cup. So Radio Times did some variant covers of a team of Cybermen and a team of Daleks on a football pitch. I know I've never seen this image, I don't think. So
The Daleks and Cybermen World Cup.
yeah, on Radio Times.
Oh, hello. Oh, they're on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Oh, and they're holding the ball. Yeah, okay.
I'm like, that's fun.
That's pretty fun.
But it's like,
that's Lumic.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
mean,
even,
you have the suit, right? Might as well.
Yeah, right. I'm like, this isn't even a.
I do think that the Radio Times Doctor Who stuff was like fun. Like, I'm sure you've seen the cover where it was like teasing, not a cover, but like part of it was teasing season 2, where it's like the Doctor and Rose in TARDIS, and then like Rose is holding a hand out to Sarah Jane, and
the
K9
long
is
strip.
the long one,
that
yeah.
was so good.
That is also very,
that's one of the
very
best.
cool.
And you've got one of the cat women.
Yeah,
that's one of the
Clockwork robots.
Yeah, it's one of the best promo images I think the show's ever had.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
by a
big
country
time.
mile. It's so good.
Then there's just music stuff. Like, yes, how, you know, the Doomsday theme is in when Ninth Doctor shows her the TARDIS for the first time. Yeah. Also, the music that plays during the Doctor and Rose crying is the Lone Dalek, played during the death scene of the Metaltron.
What is this when they're crying on the beach?
I assume so, because it just says the music that plays during the Doctor and Rose crying over their tragic farewell.
Or maybe it's the walls. But no, that's Doomsday, right? I don't know. It's fine.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't Dalek Sec, it was Dalek Just that was originally called Rabe.
Okay, Dalek Just.
Yep. And apparently an item of discussion between production staff was over who would rescue Rose. Russell T Davies and Julie Gardner wanted it to be Pete.
Someone wanted it to be Jackie, right?
No.
Or Mickey.
Noel Clarke and Phil Collinson wanted Mickey. The role was ultimately given to Pete to emphasise he has accepted Rose as a surrogate daughter.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah, which, you know...
Especially because if you did do the Mickey thing, it would have undercut it even more in Journey's End when she just fobs him off again.
Yep.
It's like,
and, you know,
this
like...
dude world hops for you, and here you are being like,
I don't need more of a reason to dissect this relationship any more than I already have.
Yeah, it's already been a wild ride.
Right.
It's only been 2 seasons too.
But it's been crazy.
It's been crazy.
And then finally, apparently Russell T Davies told the press Rose was gone for good. He told Billy Piper, "I'll see you in 2 years."
Did he?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Right.
That's I love him.
Yeah.
I really do. Like when
Russell T Davies, friend of the podcast.
Russell Davies, I hope he is. Because you get this sort of impression with a lot of the Moffat stuff, where like you know that Moffat is coming in, and I've had this before with you where I've said like I think Moffat has one story to tell, and that is the Doctor dies.
Yeah.
Other than the River Song stuff, which I think works. Once you've done that twice and you've eliminated it, you know, the Pandorica and all that stuff, I think that's why season 7B falls apart, or season 7A and B are just a bit subpar.
With the Matt Smith Doctor anyway, because like Peter Capaldi feels like he's got a bit more going on than just the Doctor dies, but
he does. But I don't. But I think he had time to plan because of the mid-season breaks.
Yeah,
Russell T Davies feels like he had a plan. So the showrunners afterwards, I don't think have felt like there was a big plan going in. Like even the Timeless Child stuff, I don't feel like that was planned from the beginning.
Oh my god!
I feel like that was made up as it went
I
along.
need to talk about the Timeless Child stuff for a while.
We're gonna have to. But is that everything?
That's it.
That's the episode. No more Rose.
No more Rose.
We'll have one more week of talking about her, I guess, in the confidential.
Yeah.
But that'll be next week, and then we'll have a break. Then when we come back, there might be more than one show on at once.
Yeah. Stay
Ooh.
tuned.
Tuned.
Stay tuned.
Tuned. Beach.
Fuck off.
That's where the darling Bad Wolf Bay.
Beach. Fuck off.
Yeah. Let us know if you enjoyed this. I mean, you probably did, because I mean, come on. Who like?
Come on.
And if anyone doesn't actually enjoy this episode and like can back themselves up, I guess, other than being like, oh shit, like I kind of want to know. I'm like, yeah, tell me, please, because it's I enjoy it.
Interesting point of discussion.
Yeah. We'll see you next week for Confidential. Doctor Who Rewind everywhere.
Doctor Who
DW Rewind everywhere.
Holland, everyone.
Did you just say Holland?
Yeah.
I don't recall saying Holland. See you then. Bye.
Holland. Bye.
It's not